that even mean, Bowers Game for me?
Boy there, YouTube, we're back again today for the second time for our Gen Con Bonanza Explosion blog coverage. We're live in my basement, 2019. I'm here with my good friends Brandon.
Hello.
And Eric. And we're going to be bringing you our top 10 most anticipated games of Gen Con 2019. Thanks in part to all of our amazing Kickstarter backers and these spectacular companies right here who donated games to our Kickstarter. Be sure to show all of them some love. And of course, Steve Jackson Games, who is our big sponsor this year for the Gen Con Bonanza. Be sure to check out Deadly Doodles. Now, being completely honest, this is our second take of it because for some reason we were doing it live and it screwed all up. So now we are recording it. But we're going to be going over our top 10 most anticipated games of Gen Con. For my personal list, all of these are games you're going to be able to purchase at Gen Con. You as well. You not so much.
That's right, not so much. Because I don't follow the rules.
But we're going to be going over each of our top 10s. But before we get started with that, let's talk about some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I've got an honorable mention. This is a game that I play, but I broke it out in front of some friends and
left, center, right.
That's very anticipated.
and it went over really well. It's Blockbuster from Big Potato Games. This game looks like a VHS tape. The board folded up, you open it up, it looks like a VHS tape you would rent from Blockbuster back in the day. You lay out the tiny board, it's a Blockbuster parking lot, and the whole thing is a literal buzzer-beating movie game. And it's really light, really quick, and I would definitely check it out.
Can't agree. It is on the lighter side, though. You do need to know this is a mass market style party game, but it is fun for what it is. Check out my review if you're more interested.
Ooh, yeah.
Moving from something very, very light to something not so light, Western Empires. This is a 5 to 9 player game. It's going to take you 6 to 12 hours to play. They say easy to learn, and you did that the first time too. Easy to learn, quote unquote, epic civ game. We're going to be starting from 8000 BC and building your civilization from there. It's got simultaneous real-time trade, which I love. Too many mechanisms to even write down because it was like the BGG page was just like this and this and this and this and this and this and this. It looks really stinking cool. Plus, as far as I know, this is going to be like the first like mass market, I say that very loosely, giant civ game. Because I know there's a bunch of these huge civ games that people play at conventions, but I don't know if there's any actually that you can purchase and like buy in a box. But this one is actually coming out very, very soon. It's an honorable mention because it's not available to be purchased, and both my honorable mentions are, in fact, that way, but still something that looks really cool to me. And my other honorable mention is Teberu, a new evolution in board games from CMON. They just announced this one a couple days ago. I am very excited to see if this is going to be a colossal failure or the next evolution of board games, where essentially you're going to have this big tablet that's set out, and this is going to be your board game, and then you're gonna have the pieces, and the pieces are gonna have like microchips and all sorts of fancy stuff and smart dice, and it sounds really cool. They're releasing it with Zombicide, which whatever, but I'm excited if other companies pick this up, like an Asmodee were to pick this up and make it compatible with Small World and Ticket to Ride and Pandemic, and you could potentially save a whole boatload of shelf space if this were to work. But I think the big crux is, the big thing is, this has to be something you can play offline. Absolutely. I think that's one thing. Like, if this is online only, I'm probably going to do a hard pass on this one. But if it's offline, I'm very excited to learn some more about this at Gen Con. So hopefully we get an interview on that one. But those are my two honorable mentions.
That'll be interesting. I'm going to change mine. Haha. Yeah, this is what we get for second take. I'm going to make Furry Foodies. I'm going to put Furry Foodies into the honorable mention.
So what's Furry Foodies?
Furry Foodies is... from the OP. It is a family weight game that takes 15 to 20 minutes, and it's got cats and pizza and chicken and cheese, and what more do you need to know?
Who's it designed by?
That's Ed/A, I believe.
Okay.
Are we going to redo the jokes?
He's
All
good.
Right, sounds great. Oh, you know what that really sold me on this game, though? The double-sided reference cards.
There are 461 games, I think, that I saw being released at Gen Con. But you didn't actually go with just games that were released at Gen Con. So there was about 500 and something games on this list. And you put this. This was originally as number 10.
That's right, baby.
And you didn't even have a good reason for it.
I don't.
All right, spectacular. Any other honorable mentions?
Yeah, man. Kenny, what was it? Kenny G keeping it sexy?
Keeping it sexy. You're helping Kenny G keep it sexy by Keeping him groovy while he deals with his everyday problems.
Of being Kenny G.
ED.
And we're not kidding about that. That's a real thing.
That's the expansion.
It is a real game.
They help him in traffic.
Target exclusive.
Is it really? Is it
I would
Target
imagine so.
exclusive? Okay, maybe.
All right, so let's actually get to number 10.
Okay. I'm losing it over here. All right. Sure. Las Vegas Royale. Let's put Las Vegas Royale into number 10. Why not? So this was originally a dice game called Las Vegas that was made in 2012, and also a game called Las Vegas Boulevard, and they kind of shoved them together to make a dice chucking rolling game where you're just trying to make the most money and you're trying to have the best casino. I'm a big fan of dice chuckers, and this one looked interesting to me. It has a cool dice little tray thing and lots of money stuff and cards, and I'm doing really good at describing it.
Very cool game. They're doing this for, I think, the 20th anniversary or something like that, so I don't know if it was 2012 or when it came out, but Alea's re-releasing some of their old style games with new expansions and the old expansions as well. This one looks really stinking cool, and Las Vegas is a spectacular dice chucker if you've not had the chance to play it. My number 10 is Curios from AEG. This is a filler-weight bluffing and deduction game where everyone has a little information about the end game scoring, and you're gonna have your little chunk of information, and then you are going to be paying attention to what everybody else is doing. Other than that, it's a very simple worker placement game where you're going to go to different places. You're picking up relics or something. I don't know. The theme does not really look like it comes across at all. But I love games where everybody has a little bit of the information and you're trying to puzzle it all together. Looks like a really cool, lightweight filler game. That is Curios from AEG.
My number 10 is Mental Blocks from Pandasaurus Games. This is 2 to 9 players. It's an abstract puzzle game and kind of has that same feel where everyone's got the answer to this puzzle or has some part of this puzzle from one perspective. And so everyone's trying to build the same thing, but nobody has the full map, as it were, for the thing that they're building. So it looked like a pretty interesting, definitely an abstract game, definitely a lighter game, and quicker, which is, kind of my bag.
Yeah, we got a chance to try this one out at Origins. Really cool game designed by Jonathan Gilmore. And how it worked pretty much was, if you're playing 3 players, then it would be like a triangle. So I would get one part of the triangle, and you two would get the other part of the triangle. We have to put these blocks all together. We're playing 4-player, then obviously make it into a square. It's got a potential hidden traitor element that you can throw into it. Stupidly hard levels. Like, we tried just the level 1 stuff, and it was difficult. And then it goes up to I think it was like level 8 or something, which is just like impossible mode. And actually, a little fun fact. Whereas they originally pitched this game as kind of a big company retreat game where it's like, oh, if we all work together, we all
team builder.
Yeah, team building style game. And they're like, this is too gamey for us. But Pandasaurus picked it up, added some more meat to it, and now looks like a really cool abstract strategy game, which is not something I say too terribly often. But moving on to number 9.
Number 9, I've got Sushi Roll from Gamewright Games. This is 2 to 5 players. This is basically Sushi Go with dice, chucking dice for Sushi Go.
Yeah, designed by the same designer of Sushi Roll, also Baron Park, Gizmos, and I know that I think that this one's going to be a pretty big hit, to be honest with you. I think Sushi Go is just so people don't quite understand how popular that game is. Like, that game has sold so many copies for Gamewright, and I think this is going to be a big hit as well. So yeah, Sushi Roll looks really stinking cool. On my radar as well. Moving on to number 9, I only put one family game on here because, to be honest with you, there was probably going to be 4 or 5. I'm excited to check out the Habas Fieldus Yaris game that we just won. But I chose one, and that is Snowman Dice from Brain Games, who is famous for Ice Cool. This is a 2 to 4 player game where you're going to be rolling dice as fast as you can, and in order to build a snowman. And then once you build the snowman, you're going to push the snowman into the center of the table, where there's going to be like a circular disc. But once you start pushing to other people, when they roll snowballs, they're going to be able to try and flick the snowballs to your little snowman. It just sounds fun. Like, it just sounds like a stupidly fun game. I'm sure it's going to go over like gangbusters in my classroom and with my kids. Snowman Dice from Brain Games sounds like they got a hit on their hands. What I'm really excited to play.
Okay. I don't know what number we're on.
9.
Okay. Reavers of Midgard. So this is the follow-up from Gray Fox Games to Champions of Midgard. Has a lot of the same elements in that it is dice combat with engine building and set collections and worker placement. So it's got a lot of the same components. Art on it looked really awesome, and I just enjoy Champions of Midgard, so I'm assuming that the follow-up will be just as good, if not better.
That's always the case.
I hope so.
But what's your number 8? Snaking around.
Sure. I'm just going down the list. My list is not numerically relevant, just FYI.
We kind of screwed the pooch on that one. We did a live stream, and then for some reason the live stream shot out on us.
I'm just picking.
So number 8.
Number 8 for me from Czech Games Edition, or CGE, Letter Jam. This is something that we had the opportunity to play at Origins, and the idea behind it is you get a bunch of letters that you put together into a word. You pass it off to the next person so they don't know what letters they have, and then you have to put the letters up in front of you so that you cannot see them. And the people around the table come up with a word that basically says, oh, I can help 3 people figure out what their letter is. And then you do the word, and they were like, oh, okay, I know what letter that is, and you move on to the next one, and at the end of the game you're trying to figure out what the source word was. And you played the crap out of this at Origin, so what was your take on it?
I think this is the best word game I've ever played in my life. It is spectacular. This is one of those ones that I absolutely will be walking out of Gen Con for. If, and on my top 10 list, I put only games that I had not played that I was excited to play, but if I put games that I had played, this would be number 1. With a bullet. It's that good. Wow. I think they've got a huge hit on their hands. It's not going to be as popular as Codenames, because it is, as you probably saw from his description, it's kind of hard to describe the game.
It's
a very different game, but if you like word games, and if you love games that make you feel smart, like you get those, I got a 6-letter word that's going to help 4, and 3 of you are going to get it guaranteed. Like if you love those smart ones where it's like, yes, those aha moments, but then quickly you realize that it's not an aha moment.
Right, yeah, like,
This is absolutely a game to try out.
Yeah.
Letter Jam from CGE, excellent choice. Excellent game. Definitely put this one on your radar. Very cool game. My number 8 is Revolution of 1828 from Renegade Game Studios. This is a 2-player, 30 to 60-minute game from Stefan Feld, who I'm a big fan of. We're going to be playing as John Quincy Adams versus Andrew Jackson for President of the United States. And what was it, 1824 or something like that. Action selection game. We're going to have this big board in the middle of you, which is going to have a whole bunch of different actions that you can take. And you have to decide how you're going to win the election by selecting the different actions. Really cool, good early reviews aside from the artwork, which apparently is ho-hum, but I really don't care at all about artwork, especially in a game about an 1828 election, which I don't expect to have spectacular artwork. I'm also a big fan of history games, so I'm hoping the history comes across in this one well. It even says easy to learn and easy to teach, which is not something you generally expect from a Stefan Feld game, but this one, very excited to check this one out. That is Revolution of 1828.
My number 8, I guess I could go ahead and just pair up 2 games. The OP is putting out 2 Harry Potter games this year. One of them is Death Eaters Rising. That, I think, out of the 2 of them is probably the one I'm more excited about if I had to pick, but I don't, so I won't.
And just to time out, the OP is formerly USAopoly. They're trying to get away from that
Gilmore Girls Monopoly?
Yeah.
Sure.
They're trying to go into more gamery style games.
So anyways, Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising, you're going to play as one of a leader, I guess, in the wizarding world. It's set in the 5th year at Hogwarts, and you're going to be trying to get teammates and things like that, so that you can battle the Death Eaters. The second one that they're coming out with is a version of their Hogwarts battle line.
It's more like Hogwarts Battle Duel, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so that one looks pretty cool too. So both those Harry Potter games come in at my number 8.
I got a chance to check out the Duel one at Gen Con. Me and my buddy Adam sat down. We played a whole game of it. Really enjoyed it. If you like the original game, this has a feel to it very similar, but it was a very nice back and forth style 2-player game that was it was not that light either. I mean, it was easy to learn and easy to teach, but it had some heft to it. It had a little bit of meat to it. Really cool 2-player game to keep your eyes on, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan.
Snaking around number 7.
Do it.
Team 3 from Brain Games. This one's 3 to 6 players, and you are playing in a team of 3. It's playing off of the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil trope, where basically one of the teammates is blindfolded, can't see, and they're the ones building whatever it is you're trying to construct. And then there's a person who has the blueprints and knows how to build it, but they can't talk. And then you've got the person in the middle who's trying to interpret the pantomimes, or however the person decides to get that across. He's trying to verbally describe it to the person with the blindfold so that they can build it before the other team ends up being successful. They've got 2 different versions of the game, the green and the pink, and I believe it's just more game. From what I could tell, it's not any different. So, but definitely looks like a fun party game.
Yeah, Matt, fantastic. I've enjoyed his games. Lemonade game. It's not Lemonade. Really enjoyed that one. And Brain Game. So this is one that hopefully we'll be able to pick up and maybe even live stream it at Gen Con, because I think this would be a fun one.
That would be a fun one to watch.
Number 7 for me is Machi Koro Legacy for Pandasaurus Games, and Machi Koro gets a bad rap, and I will say deservedly so. It's one of those games that once you played it about 5 to 10 times, you're like, all right, I know the best thing that I should do. So design-wise, but this one I'm very excited about. It's a 10-game legacy game that's going to tell a complete overarching story, and you can set yourself up for the next game. So even if you're screwed this game, you can kind of set yourself up. And I do like when legacy games do that, because I have played a couple legacy games where I didn't feel like there was that much of a connection between Game 5 and Game 6. This one sounds like it's going to fix that problem, which is something I really do enjoy about legacy games. Designed by Rob Davio of the Legacy fame, and J.R. Honeycutt from the Staying in Our Hotel Room fame.
Definitely what he's known for. Definitely.
He's staying in our hotel room.
It's so great to do these twice because you get some of the same jokes.
So we'll be sure to post our hotel room in the comments down below if you want an autograph.
Oh man, you think it's gonna be like a 1-year thing? Next year is like gone.
Next year we're getting Jonathan Gilmour in the hotel room with us.
Oh dang! All right,
just a designer every year.
That futon out.
All right, whatever number we're on,
7.
I have Sierra West, which is basically an action selection game where you're going to get cards on a board and you have to decide what to do with them, and it has 4 different modes that you can do each time. It plays in about 60 minutes, 1 to 4 player. It apparently is a Euro, so if Euros are not your thing, probably not a game that you want to check out. This was at Origins. I'm repping the Bros Murph. Nick Murphy wound up playing it, said he really enjoyed it, thought it was pretty great.
Get the hell out.
I always say I gotta be on brand. But apparently it's an action selection, worker placement, deck building. It's got like a little bit of everything apparently. So apparently it's pretty good. So I put it on my list. There you go.
All right. Number 6. Not that numbers matter to you.
Not that numbers matter. Nope. Cloudspire. This was from Chip Theory Games, which is the same people do what you said. Too Many Bones.
Too Many Bones.
Is that right? Okay. 1 to 4 player strategy game that has elements from tower defense and MOBAs, which are like a League of Legends style game that they throw into a board game. And there's a scenario book that you have to go along with. It's got a modular board. It has really cool art. It was a Kickstarter last year that I thought about because I love tower defense, but wound up not getting in on it. And it's just something I really want to check out to see more about it.
Looks really cool too as well, artwork wise. I'm not much of an artwork style guy. My number 6, I got Homebrewers from Greater Than Games. This is for 2 to 5 players. By the way, another little fun fact: Greater Than Games has Mysteria, which is what the hell is it? Never mind.
I don't know.
They have another spectacular game coming out that you need to check it out. It's a super lightweight party game where I will look it up and tell you.
I'll look it up.
But Homebrewers, 2 to 5 players, 45 to 60 minutes. This is an engine building, dice trading game. I'm a big fan of engine building and dice trading, where this is where you're going to be brewing beer, and the dice are going to allow you to buy ingredients or do different events to show off your beer or flavor beer, and then you're going to be able to like level up your beer. So if you're building like the same type of beer, it like gets better and better, which works thematically. And I have a soft spot for games about brewing beer or soda pop. That's one thing. I want a game about brewing soda pop. Do you brew?
You don't brew soda pop.
What's it? What,
Root
like
beer. You can root beer.
Oh,
okay.
Sarsaparilla.
All right.
Eric got my back. But yeah, Greater Than Games got a pretty solid track record with me, and it's in that 45 to 60 minute, very lightweight style Euro thing, which I think this could be one that could be a sleeper hit. Looks really cool.
Number 6 for me, Sinister 6. from Spin Master Limited. This is 3 to 6 players. It's a take that game where you play as one of 10 Spider-Man villains. Not just the original Sinister Six, but all of them and then more. And then I think actually we didn't mention this the first time we did this, but I think they're doing a special character.
Yeah, Jane Foster from Thor.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Bold choice.
That is a bold choice.
Quote me on that. Walk up to their booth and be upset.
So it's a take that game where you're doing heists, trying to build up, and then eventually win at the end by getting away with the loot, with the most loot. You can stab each other in the back. You're basically trying to elude Spider-Man at the end. So I thought the art style was pretty cool. I think it's a fun idea to have a good Spider-Man game where nobody's Spider-Man. I thought that's pretty interesting. So,
That's what Sony tried.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this one looks once I get the box open.
Plus, this one's designed by Daryl Andrews, who's a pretty dang good game designer as well. But number 5.
Number 5. Oh, can we check the video and make sure it's still going?
Sure.
Are we good at this
I
point?
kind
Go for
of.
number 5. You
that
do number
is in the
5.
back.
This is right
That
where
has
we
been
were.
in the back of my head this
Just
entire time.
do your number 5.
Okay, my number 5 is Fight Club, the home game from Mondo Games. This is a 2-player game. It's a one-on-one competitive deck building game. I don't know if it's more based on the book, the movie, or the comic book, but they have all 3 of those things to pull from. The description looked very thematically vague, and I'm just interested to see what this game is all about.
I think it's actually based on the hentai.
Oh
wow.
bold moves all around.
Well, you got a company named Mondo. You got to go out there. Yeah, I didn't actually see this one on the list, so I wonder if this one's. I think this one might be a demo because I did not see it, or unless I missed it.
Oh, I don't know.
I missed Homebrewers, so.
My number 5 from God, I can't.
Bless you.
DV Giochi, and this one,
Nailed it.
you know what? This one I kind of thought about, and I thought about it. It was going to be my honorable mentions, and I thought about it more and more. And that is Bang the Dice game, Undead or Alive. And here's the thing. I played Bang the Dice game probably 50 times.
I love Bang the Dice.
I love Bang the Dice game too, but the reason why it
Solid
hasn't
game.
hit the table in a while is because I want some new stuff from it. And this one's going to add 8 new characters, new
Nice.
dice, and this gets me excited still. I don't care if it's not 2009. Zombie module, which, yes, it's going to have 5 modules grand total. So I'm very excited for this one. Bang the Dice game from DV Giochi.
Nope.
I just want you to continue to slaughter that guy's name or
That's a company.
name. It's 2019. I should know.
It's a company.
Oh, it's a company.
There's no sex involved.
Okay, great.
Don't assume this company's gender.
Let's go for whatever. It's number 5, Draftosauras. This was one I actually saw at Origins as well. 2 to 5 player, really lightweight filler, 15-minute game. But the idea is that you are trying to make the best dino park, and most likely to attract visitors. And to do so, you have to draft dino meeples and put them in pens with placement restrictions. And it just sounded like a really cool little simple easy game. And who doesn't love dinosaurs?
Yeah,
you played this one, right?
Yeah, me and Adam actually got a chance to try this one out at Origins. We really liked it. Very quick filler weight game with some interesting. I think there was a double-sided board as well. Really nice meeples as well, dinosaur meeples. I also thought of that Greater Than Games. It is Medium, which is
yeah, okay.
very, very cool game where you are trying to essentially think about the same. Yeah, you read the description of it. It's kind of difficult to explain, but
Trying
really,
to read each other's minds.
yes, but they do it in a really cool way. Medium, check that one out from Greater Than Games as well. But
Okay.
moving on, number 4, we're making some excellent time.
Number 4, Kingdomino Duel. So this is a 2-player, 20-minute game. So it's going to be on the lighter side again. I like publishers that are taking these games and making them into like 2-player stuff. So like with Dinosaur Island, there's Duelosaur Island, and with Seven Wonders, there's Seven Wonders Duel. Now this is Kingdomino 2-player, but they change it a little bit so it's a dice roller instead of like dominoes.
So you draft them, right?
Yep, exactly. It has the same essence and the same spirit as Kingdomino, which is a spectacular game, but you're throwing dice back and forth, and that's it. I mean, it looked good. It looked like it would be fun. So
That is the it thing right now. Duel,
games.
where it's 2-player games. What is the other one? Escape room style games.
Escape.
Back a couple of years ago, it was the micro game. Everybody's coming up with the hot micro game right now. It's the roll and rides. I'm waiting for the mega game. I want Kingdomino Mega, where it's like 6 to 12 hours.
Oh,
I want 6 to 12 hours of
you want
Kingdomino.
Twilight Imperium Domino.
Absolutely. Actually, I gotta say, Blue Orange Games had a lot of really stinking cool games that released in there. And I think you got one of them on yours.
It's coming up next.
But that was number 4, right? You don't know.
I don't know.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I think it was 4.
Oh,
Yeah, we're 4.
All right, my number 4, a very different game from Indie Board and Cards, was the Sherlock Files Elementary Entries. Now, Indie Board and Cards has a pretty good track record with me, but this is a 1 to 8 player, 40 to 60 minute mystery game where you're going to work cooperatively to try and solve 3 different murder mysteries. But it doesn't sound like an escape room necessarily because it's got hand management and memory. So I'm very intrigued by this game, and there's not as much information as I would like. But I love the theme. I love the fact it goes up to 8 players. That being said, this might be one of those ones where it's like it's better at 4 or 5. But very intriguing game to me. And it sounds like they're trying to make this into a whole series if they've got 3 different murder mysteries into it. But one that I'm excited to check out, that is the Sherlock Files Elementary Entries. We're definitely going to be getting an interview with them because that one looks really cool.
My number 4 is Slide Quest from Blue Orange Games. This is 1 to 4 players. It's a cooperative game where it's kind of hard to describe, but you have these plastic pieces that fit in the box, and the levels fit on top of that. And what you're doing is you're pressing down these plastic pieces to change the level and the balance of the board so that your little piece that's on this little marble-based meeple guy rolls around. And this game looked like it would be something that would be really fun in the early challenges, but then when you have to start pushing other pieces into holes and going this way but not that way, looking at some of the higher, I think there was like 20 different levels.
There's a lot.
And some of those higher levels look horribly difficult. Dexterity, cooperation, team game still looks like it's pretty easy to learn, pretty easy to bring to the table, and I think my family would like it a lot. So
I agree. I got a chance to try this with my 6-year-old, my wife, and Scott Alden, who designed Board Game Geek. Name drop, baby. Really stinking cool game. I think Blue Orange is going to have a huge hit on their hands with this one. I know it was sold out at Origins, and it looks really cool. And I did actually get a chance to try out one of the last levels of it, and dear God, it's going to be one of those games where you're going to have to progressively level yourself up and get better as you play it. But it's a really stinking cool game. Nice choice, sir.
Snaking around number 3, Jaws from Ravensberger. This is a 2 to 4 player game based on the Jaws movie. I like that one player plays as the shark. It's a double-sided board, and on one side, you're at the beach. The shark, whoever's playing the shark, is trying to not be detected while still eating swimmers. And I'm not sure how it translates to the second half of the game, but you flip the board over and you're on the orca, you're on the boat, the just big enough boat, I suppose. And you're actually, the 3 players are trying to kill the shark. And so there is that opportunity for the one shark player to win, and I thought that was a pretty cool take on it. So, but yeah, that's Jaws from Ravensberger.
Yeah, and actually at the convention, they're going to have a third board that you'll be able to get. It's like an exclusive one where you're at the grocery store. Shark attacks at the grocery store.
Wow.
So be sure to ask them for that when you go.
Do you guys have a grizzly shark game?
My number 3 was actually the game that I heard the most buzz about, aside from Letter Jam, at Origins, which I didn't get a chance to play. I was very frustrated with that. That is Abomination Hair.
One more time.
Abomination, is it hair or
You
air?
tell me.
Air.
I hate you people.
Don't tell him.
H-E-I-R.
All right, Abomination, Heir of Frankenstein from Plaid Hat
There you
Games.
go.
This is a Frankenstein worker placement where essentially they're trying. Everybody's working together. Well, not working together. Excuse me. Working to be the first one to build like a Frankenstein monster. It's got a word here I can't read. Management, narrative, and it's got narrative elements. Variable player powers, and it was hot buzz because I get stopped a lot of times. People are like, oh, and they'll
recognized.
Well, yeah, and I'm not bragging, but it's just like, I'll be like, and I always ask, like, what's the game that you've heard some hot buzz about? What's the game that you've tried? And I had 5 or 6 people who were like, oh, that Frankenstein one from Plaid Hat Games. And I also talked to a couple other reviewers who said we tried an early version of it. It's spectacular. Love worker placement. Love the theme. Love when games can actually include some story that comes across. Some great artwork. I talked to the demoer who's got no skin in the game. He's got no skin in the game. I've talked to demers and say, I hate this game. It sucks. This guy was like, this game is spectacular. I can't wait to get this game. That is Abomination, Heir of Frankenstein. Very cool game. And also a little fun fact. If you talk to demoers before you play a game, be like, is this worth playing? They will give you an honest opinion.
They'll be honest.
They will tell you, so
they'll
be
honest
sure.
about it.
Don't waste your time at conventions. Make sure you ask your demoer, is this worth my time before you play it? Little fun fact from Bauer's Game Corner.
I can't wait for the hair of Frankenstein.
It's a totally different
Not
game.
mouse, rabbit themed game.
Totally different game.
You're number 3.
Oh, the HARB. Nice.
Yes.
All right. This is the Artemis Project from Grand Gamers Guild. This was on a Kickstarter earlier this year. They're coming out and fulfilling by Gen Con or at Gen Con, so it'll be available for play. It is a dice placement, resource management, engine builder. All 3 of those things are things that I like. And you put them together into a game with what looks to be really awesome art. And I like the idea of the theme of it as well, which is kind of that you're out in space in Jupiter and on one of the moons trying to get stuff from the moon to be better. And it just looks really cool. It looks like a really fun, interesting game that has a bunch of mechanics that I dig. So there you go.
And it's the follow-up to Endeavor, which was really stinking good, too.
Yeah.
Number 2!
Number 2. This is Atlantis Rising from Elf Creek Games. This is another one that was on Kickstarter. It's releasing around Gen Con time. It'll be there for demo and play as well. This is 1 to 7 players, which is great. I know how you're always talking about player count.
Oh yeah, baby.
So 7-player cooperative, about 60 minutes. And the idea in the game is that you're on Atlantis and you have these 6 spokes on the board, and you're trying to get resources or things from each spoke. But it has a Forbidden Island mechanic where basically you're going to flip over cards and parts of the island are going to go away. What are you doing?
Just keep talking.
Okay. All right. And parts of the island are going to go away. It is a redo because it was done in 2012, but this is like version 2.0 of it. It's a modular board. It was an incredibly entertaining experience. I think this is going to be huge.
Oh, you tried it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
I had to try it at Gen Con or at Origins. To the point of we were 1 turn away from the game end, and I had to leave, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just need to know if we win.
Oh, you're that guy?
Yeah, I was that guy.
Terrible.
I know. Terrible. But the lady was nice enough to text me and tell me, nope, we sure didn't win. So I just stuck around.
Here's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Why did you have to leave?
Newfound Glory. I went and saw Newfound Glory. That was the Newfound Glory show.
Nice.
Anyway, so it was by far my favorite experience end game at Origins. I'm very excited for this one. I think it's going to be big.
Can you check the chat real quick?
There is no chat. We're recording.
We're doing the opposite of live.
Check.
All right, my number 2, a game that I was really intrigued by. This is Until Daylight by Flyos Games. This is a co-op, app-driven game with a timer where you must survive over the course of 10 rounds. There's card drafting, there's real-time asymmetrical special abilities, rapidly changing situations. But the thing that really got me, I love co-op, I love the zombie theme, but it says, your first game you're going to lose. Like, it says it right there. Like, your first game you are going to lose. But I love difficult games. I love cooperative games where you're trying to puzzle together how you're supposed to do it. It's got, like, that Minecrafty element where you're going to be able to, like, combine different weapons to form different things. Looks really cool. Like the artwork. Little bit nervous about the publisher because I have no idea about them, which means it could be great, could be a big pile of crap. But that is Until Daylight from Flyos Games. Very cool looking game.
All right.
Number 2, right? My number 2 is coming in with another light party game. It's We Need to Talk from Smirk and Laughter Games. This one, normally the artwork catches me. This one, the artwork wasn't anything special. But once I got to the description, I was like, oh, I've got 10 people that I can't wait to play this with. And what you're going to do is everyone, it's kind of almost like a Spyfall type of thing where, you know, one person doesn't really know something, you know, and they're trying to figure it out. Well, the one person is, they're having an intervention staged for them. And you have to try and figure out, based on all of your loved ones' statements, what your problem is.
Oh,
and they're ridiculous problems.
Oh no.
And so, you know, you can't give it all away, but you know, it's like, well, I just think that when you're doing it more than 10 times a day, there's a problem. You know, and then so you're like, okay, what could this be? Yeah, what could this be? So I mean, I don't know.
Awesome.
I mean, in my head, I think it would be really fun. I'm sure it's going to be really dependent on who you bring to the table to play.
Absolutely.
But the possibilities that are there, I'm really interested to see
idea.
and see if this game works as well as I think
great.
it might.
I think it's going to be really good because I know this is Smirk and Dagger is spinning off to Smirk and Laughter, so they probably want to come out with a big hit. Also, artwork I'm pretty sure is supposed to be like Dr. Katz, the old Comedy Central show.
Yeah.
Is that what they were doing?
I actually really like the artwork a lot.
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I guess the Dr. Katz artwork wasn't all that spectacular.
Whoa,
but,
okay.
whoa.
Open to interpretation.
I'll check it out.
Like you're an artist.
My number one.
Number one!
My number one, you know, I'm breaking all your rules. Mine isn't even really a game. Per se.
Oh boy, is it an activity?
It is
Hacky sack.
It is hacky sack, guys. Try it. It's called Crusoe Crew, and this is one. I mean, they've got a whole installment of these books, but this one's really like knocked me off the fence, and I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna get started on these. But it's from, and I hope this is how you pronounce it. It's
Van Ryder Games.
No.
Van Ryder Games is bringing it to you. That's the French company.
God.
You can just say Van Ryder Games.
okay.
You don't even have to try.
All right. I won't even. It's not French though.
Yeah, but it's Van Ryder Games is bringing it to America.
I still want to say.
Okay, go for it.
Macaca.
You just sort of say Gaga.
Macaca Editions.
Editons.
And what's cool about this one now these are books, and they mesh together comic books, puzzles, role playing, and kind of I guess smaller mini games into these stories that they have, and it's kind of got this choose your own adventure type of feel to it. But I think it really like finds that blurry line between comics, games, and role playing, and it's like the artwork's great. They are like hiding things in the cells of the comics, like clues and things like that. So just the depth of it caught my eye, you know, looking over some of the other ones. This one's special because it's going to be a cooperative thing. So it can play up to 4 players that kind of go with their own book, their own character, but it all kind of works simultaneously into this one larger storyline. And so I think as a family, I'm definitely going to be picking this up, and me, my wife, my son, and my daughter are all going to have their own character, their own books, and go through this together.
Humble brag.
What, I have a family?
Yeah, what he was talking about was Van Ryder Games has like this huge line of choose your own adventure graphic novels, and they like took that and made it a family one, but then they added more stuff to it, and it does look really, really stinking interesting. I think it's a great choice. My number one from Fowers Games, who has just an absolutely spectacular track record for me, is Sabotage. This is 2 to 4 players, 69 minutes. It's a team game, which immediately perks up my ears. I love team games, especially 4-player team games where it's 2 versus 2.
You're the Beastie Boys, right?
Yes. Spies versus villains. It's got variable player powers, programming movement, bluffing and deduction, unlockable new dice and actions. And it's from from Tim Fowers, who's done Burgle Brothers, Hardback, Paperback, Walkstar. Every game he has put out in my personal book is not just great, but like fantastic. Like 8.5. plus, and he knocked it out of the park with Burgle Bros. Like
Burgle
the
Bros is
theme
spectacular.
comes across really stinking well. So I have a feeling, I have no doubt in my mind, like this is the game that I am sure is going to be a great game. Of all the games on my list, I'm like, oh, this could be good. This could be great. This could be fantastic. I am sure that this game is going to be good. Just guaranteeing it right now.
All right.
Don't mess with me, Tim.
Take
it's going to be
that
great.
to the bank.
Fowers Games, Sabotage. I don't hear much buzz about it, but I am really excited for this game. 60 to 90 minutes, team game, really cool looking. That is Sabotage from Fowers Games.
Awesome.
Sabotage!
I love how we don't follow rules on this, like on this channel at all.
Oh, and this game coming out 2022?
This game's coming out in 2021 next year. 2020.
Oh yeah.
From Restoration Games, every game deserves another turn. All right, I gotta be on brand, baby. No, so if you haven't heard, they're redoing Dark Tower. It's going to be called Return to Dark Tower. It is going to be available for demo. They are running demos of it at their booth. It's in like pre-alpha / playtesting, but it's Rob Davio. It's Isaac Childress. Ever heard of him? And
it's Justin Jacobson.
Justin Jacobson.
You ever heard of him?
I have, actually. I've met the guy. He's very,
Oh,
very nice.
look
He's
at
a
me.
very, very nice guy.
He's staying in my hotel room.
He's not staying in a hotel room. J.R. Honeycutt is. Bam! He works for Restoration Games. All right. Anyway, it's basically going to be... I don't know. I have no idea what it is. All I know is they wanted to take some of the elements from the original Grail game, Dark Tower, which is by far one of my favorite board games of all time. I just freaking love it. It's a sequel to it. It's going to have the tower. The tower is a big component of part of it. It's not going to be an app. They're actually going to build like some freaking tower for it. I don't know what any of the mechanics are. I don't care. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I imagine if they do this on Kickstarter, it's going to make...
It's going to make all the money.
$7 billion.
All of the money. And I do believe they are going to Kickstarter.
I will say, you have swayed me on this game. He actually has an original copy of the game. He taught it to me, played it with me once, and it was fun. I'm excited to see what they do.
It's random. It's all RNG, but I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I want to see what they do with it.
There you go. There are our top 10, technically top 30, technically top 35
Something.
games of Gen Con 2019. We're excited. We're going to be down there covering it. You're going to be down there playing games. So if you see us, be sure to say hi. Let us know what the hot game is, the hot buzz that we are missing. I'm not doing the people's top 10 because I'm pretty sure it's all skewed up because like Renegade Games has like 4 of the top 10. So I think that they were just like, hey, everybody come throw it up or something. I was hoping to do some sort of advanced metric where I would have like the must-haves versus the interest and to do that, but then I got way too lazy and played Apex Legends instead. But let me know in the comments below, what is your most anticipated game of Gen Con 2019? And also, huge thanks to all of our Kickstarter backers. Really, thank you. Sending us our 6th year. 7 years ago, I was sleeping in my car. This year, we're staying in the Omni, which is like one of the nicest hotels. Granted, we're staying with 6 people, but hey, I'm still excited. And thank you, as always, for your time,
awesome.
YouTube.
Just gonna keep doing finger guns.
I'm gonna leave this all in.
Are ya?